Hey, how's it going everybody? Shaggy from the Order of Mithril, and here we are continuing the spooky season videos, and we're going to be doing today's video on Super Castlevania 4. To start out, this is unlike the three previous games. It was originally released in North America on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System December 4th, 1991, and in Japan the same year, just in October 31st, just a couple of months prior. Europe, again, not until 1992 did they get to play this masterpiece of a Super Nintendo title. Full disclosure on this title, I actually didn't get to play it much when it was originally released on the Super Nintendo. I can only remember of 2 occasions where I actually got my hands on it to actually have any legitimate playtime with it. Even though I didn't get much playtime with it, it did stick with me. This was the first 16-bit Castlevania that came out, and because it was 16 bits and they put in some new controls, you'll notice as I play through the game that I can't just whip forward and backward, but I can actually swing the whip behind me, in front of me, above me, straight down if I jump straight up, and in the cardinal directions, which was really ingenious. It was something completely different for Castlevania because you had never seen it before. And even on being able to hit in multiple directions, you can actually hold the attack button and run your finger in a circle over the D-pad, and you'd get like a little whip around you, kind of like a defensive move. It does less damage, but if you're having trouble hitting a target, it allows you to actually get those hits in pretty easily. This had some other revolutionary bits of gameplay in it because of the new Nintendo engine that they were using. You can actually get some really cool gameplay here. As you noticed here, I actually went behind that fence, came back out, and then went back behind it again, giving a certain depth to the game that wasn't present in previous titles. Getting into the art and the graphics of this title, it was an amazing Super Nintendo title for me. I'm sure that there were a lot of people that were willing to let it pass by them. They may have not have been big fans to begin with, and that's completely okay, but I feel that they missed out on a great game. As you can see, Simon Belmont from the first 2 Castlevanias is our protagonist, and he's gotten that Super Nintendo upgrade to the way he looks. You can actually tell that he's wearing like some leather armor with some metal accents. The whip actually looks really great. You can see that he starts out with the leather one, then he upgrades to the longer chain one that deals more damage. Everything about it just looked really great without sacrificing identity of who the character is and who the enemies are throughout the title. And again, I didn't play it much on Super Nintendo, but I can remember the way that it looked, and getting to play it again in the Anniversary Collection has been really great. I don't feel like they sacrificed anything. They didn't try to upgrade it and remake it, remaster it in any way. They left it intact. As with the way the art and the graphics looked for this title, the audio had a very similar upgrade. You could tell that things were done a little bit better because of, well, let's just say it, a better system. And that's okay that it's better. I mean, that's what happens with time. Better things come out. But with the audio, just like the graphics and the art, they didn't sacrifice any level of familiarity with anything that you would hear in this. The music still sounds great, the enemies are easily identifiable, and you can still understand what that whip crack sound is, that slight swoosh that comes with it. Everything just sounds amazing in this. They did the weird thing to me in that they kept a lot of the old original music arrangements, but then changed them around just a little bit to make them sound a little bit more unique. And not that it was a bad thing, I just said it was weird because there are times when I think I'm listening to a new track, but it's really an old song that has just been redone for this title when it was originally released back in the early 90s. But again, from the original release to the Anniversary Collection, nothing's really changed. They didn't go back and remake these titles, which I'm really happy about. They kept them as close to their original iterations as they possibly could, and as a fan, I love that. As any game out there, the big highlight is going to be, how does it play? I mean, a game could look spectacular, but if it plays like crap, it's not going to be a good game. But this game came out swinging. It kept all those old Castlevania vibes that you would expect from a Castlevania game as far as its gameplay and its mechanics went. They kept all the old stuff and only added new stuff that I felt was right at home with the title. I mean, you can still see that I'm swinging a whip, but I got new directions to swing the whip. And as you've already seen, there are points in the game where I can actually swing on to these little hoops, these little hooks that you can attach the whip to and swing across big areas. And this title, just like all the other ones, does have that sense of Castlevania difficulty and challenge that I really appreciated. A game shouldn't be there to hold your hand as you play through it. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to give you a reason to want to keep playing it so that you can get better, so that you can try harder and beat your last score, or get to the end of the game if you haven't beat it yet. One of the things I was happy to see return, much like in some of the previous titles, was the degree of replayability. While, yes, it's hard and it's challenging, one of the things that I was really appreciative of was the ability to have a score, and how well I could get through a level. How much damage am I going to take? How many hearts am I going to have at the end of the level? How many continues am I going to have? How much time am I going to have left over? It gives you the essence of trying to go back and do better. If you love the game, and you just want to play it for nostalgia's sake, and you pick it up here every once in a while, that's fine. But for a hardcore gamer, you can actually go back and play it just trying to beat your score. And I like that. I love that about some of these older games. They give you a reason to go back and try harder in them. So here's where I'm going to ask you guys to jump down into the comment section. Let me know what you think about challenging games, harder games. Tell me what you think about some of these older ones that did make you try to actually complete them instead of just handing you a narrative and expecting you to just go through on rails. I mean, were you a Castlevania fan? Was there another, old game on the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, whatever era game that just stuck out to you because it challenged you and you just enjoyed it? Was it a single game? Was it a series? I want to know about your history with games. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and thank you guys again for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate it, and tune in tomorrow for another video in our Spooky Season series. Thanks again, guys.